He's best known for his role as Damien on the fan favourite Mean Girls and as Eddie on the hit series Looking. When cameras aren't rolling, Daniel Franzese can be found spreading positivity online thanks to his podcast, Yas Jesus. And that's not all. Daniel is also a successful stand-up comedian and just an all-round stand-up kind of guy. Daniel, nice to see you, my friend.
See you as well.
You are everywhere all the time, all at once. You're in Europe, you're in New York, and you're constantly spreading the good queer word. What's the secret?
I don't know. Flailing? I don't know. I always feel like my life is like this moving vehicle that I'm not driving, that I have to like run and jump in the seat every once in a while.
Do you like it that way, or are you like me? I'm a little bit more... it sounds exciting, but I kind of like to be a little bit more controlled about it.
You know, everything I have now I prayed for, and I'm very happy that I have all these things. I have all these touring dates, doing stand-up everywhere. I am constantly doing social media things. I used to say, why does no one ever invite me on a podcast? And now everyone's invited me on their podcast. So I'm in a great point in my life, but I do look forward to a time where maybe I'm like over this and I'm a little more settled, and I can say, oh, look at all that stuff I did, rather than being in the middle of it. But, you know, you want to make God laugh, you make plans.
Well, and yeah, I mean, if you manifest and ask for this, you can't really complain that you haven't it.
Precisely, and I feel great about it, you know. So I'm trying to manifest the next level.
Oh, well,
maybe I have a pool and more all-inclusive resorts and beachfront property.
Well, let's go back a little bit here, because I want to talk about 10 years ago, rather, playing Eddie on Looking. And that was really a history-making moment because he was the only HIV-positive character, I think, on television at the time, and something we hadn't seen for so many years, and that was 10 years ago. What was it like for you, someone who was not living with HIV, to step in and inhabit that character and realize the importance of it?
It all came out of a want to do more for my community. I had recently come out, and I was doing like a meditation challenge, and it was in one of the episodes of the challenge was live a life of service. And I just thought to myself, like, what do I do? Like, I mean, now I do it a lot, but at the time I was like, you know, I'm a good person. I consider myself like a supporter of the LGBT community, as well as being a part of it. I love my LGBTQ siblings, but I don't do anything. So I was like looking for something to do. And I had a friend come to ask me for help, you know, who had become HIV positive and had locked himself in his apartment and didn't, you know, get the proper medication and stuff. And I knew Elizabeth Taylor's grandson socially, Quinn Tivy. I was like, I'm going to call him. He's got to know somebody. And it all happened. It was like a perfect storm, you know, like I got offered the part right at the same time that I met the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation. I was able to get my friend treatment and care. Like it lit this amazing fire beneath me. And I became, you know, I guess a poster boy for getting that message out there in Hollywood to create more stories. And then to see in the 9-10 years since how we've had, you know, How to Get Away with Murder and Pose and all these incredible storylines come out and be able to tell the stories and reinvigorate people, humanizing people that are living with HIV and erasing stigma.
Well, yeah, and then visibility and having those conversations is key. I think it certainly made it easier for when I decided to speak publicly about my HIV status to go, okay, yeah, this is what HIV looks like. See, I'm not emaciated and dying, and it's not
right.
It's not the end of the world.
We had old stories to look at. Yeah.
You and I had a mutual friend, the late Steve Peters, in common, and Steve was a great friend of Plus Life's. Steve and I often had conversations about being HIV positive and gay and religion. Steve was a reverend. You have your podcast, the Yas Jesus. I'll never give it credit that it deserves. Yas Jesus
you have to
podcast.
Say it as gay as you can.
Yas Jesus.
That's the way you say it. Yeah.
Thank you. Would you say that this podcast, where does it rate in terms of career highlights for you then?
You know, it's interesting to me because there's 100 things I'd like to do. But sometimes I'm like, if I was doing those right now, would I be doing Yes Jesus? Would I have the time? You know, so to me, I think it's going to be something I'm going to look back on later and really be able to answer that question to you. Right now, it's just this thing I have to do. I mean, if anything, if I'm just telling queer people that God still loves you, it's a big message. You know, a lot of them feel shunned from something. And I call myself Christian agnostic. I follow the teachings of Christ, but I don't think I know the only answer to everything. It would be like so presumptuous of me to think I would know the mysteries of the universe. I don't think we Bible study, we Bible wonder. Like, we should just be asking questions and having conversations, you know? And I think that that's what I want to be doing. So and to answer your original question, I'm proud of it. I truly am. I think that my work with Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation is probably the thing I'm the most proud of in my career, you know, but also Yash Jesus is with that, because just, you know, one day I woke up and I said, what do I do for my community? You know, and now I have a million answers to that. And I feel so good about that, you know, and if this message can do that for somebody, then I've done so much more on this earth than make a couple of movies that people like. I left so much more of a legacy and an impact if I could have made somebody live their life free.
The term role model is often thrown around, but you really are. Thanks for taking the time to chat with me, Daniel. This has been great.
I appreciate you so much. Thanks.